But I don't want no tea. It gives me a headache.
Oh, what shall we have then?
Coffee.
Hi everyone. Hey, I'm back. I finished with all the limber holes. They went rather well. Hardest part I had was these bottom ones here. They were a lot of work. It took me watching a couple John Wayne movies to finish all these up. Just sit and relax and cut away. Also, a reason I've done this is I like to put things together a little bit and to see what it'll look like in the next few steps, but right now I can't do any more with this. I've taped it together, but I've got to get a book from a friend of mine who I'm buying it from for $20. I got to get the book from him so that I can figure out where the inner hull is, because all these, when you look through these holes here, you will not always see through the other side. There's an inner hole where the guys are living and doing work and all that kind of stuff. So I've got to figure out that. So I'm going to put this aside for right now. And once I get that book, I'll be able to take measurements and take a look at how far the upper of the inside hull will be, or the inner hull, whatever you call it, and do all that work. So for right now, I'm just going to put it away. I'm going to start working on other stuff. I want to work on like the con tower, putting photo etch on some of the deck parts, various stuff like that. So basically what I've got is I got my photo etch set, which I wanted to show you all what I do. I take 800 grit sandpaper. I get this from Walmart's 3M. It's no big deal. Automotive parts area. I've already got a piece here folded. Take your photo etched, and what you're going to do is lightly sand it, but you're just going to lightly go over it. Now the reason I'm doing it on a piece of glass is I want it perfectly straight and level. I don't want any of this coming up and poking out while I'm trying to sand it. If it does that, let me focus in a little bit more. If it does that, then you could pull the parts from the photo etch set here, and if you pull a rail or something, you could bend it up and never be able to put it back the way it was. So I just gently sand this with a piece of 800 grit. You can use 1,000 if you want to. You're just trying to put scratches on it so the super glue holds better when you attach it to the plastic or to itself. Just gently score. This is the way I do it. I don't know how other people do it. I've heard a friend of mine, Bill, who owns Cottage Industries. They make all the really great Civil War ironclads. Oh my God. He does wonderful work. I have almost all his kits. Bill suggested a long time ago, he has done it where he puts it in some kind of chemical bath, and I can't remember what it was he put it in, but then he dips it in there for a few seconds and then pulls it out and puts it in like baking soda and water mixture to stop the process from going any further. And he says that etches it so it's even easier for you to not only cut it off of this, but also when you would glue it onto something else, it works even better. I haven't bothered to really go into it with him. I should have done more with that, but I kind of like the sanding method. It works well for me. I've used it over the years when doing photo etched, and it's never not worked. I mean, it always works. It always lets things adhere better. So I sand it, give it that little bit of scratching on there, and it works fine. Now with this piece, it works great because neither side has any kind of detail to it. It's pretty much plain and on both sides. Now with this set here, with the brass parts, with these brass parts here, you can see that it says U-boat 7C. Well, that's something you want to keep. You don't really want to scratch that up. You can lightly, but you don't want to lose your detail. The same way with let's see, there's another part over here. Same way with the deck pieces here. Look at all that fine detail there. I mean, yes, I do have to glue other photo etched parts onto this photo etched. You can see these blank spots here. Okay, these blank spots will be where other pieces fit on. And I want to rough them up, so I will gently just hit that area very lightly, just to scratch it, because I don't want to lose my detail on that. So I'll gently scratch those parts where I know other photo etch is going to attach to it, just to rough it up just a little bit. This is my method way of doing it. I know there's other methods that people do, but this is my method. Just to lightly scratch it. I'll do the rest of the parts later, but I just want to show you. Same thing on the back of this, where there's no detail or anything like that. Just gently on a piece of glass. This is a piece of Pyrex I got from Target, and it's like $11. It's perfectly flat. Best thing to do is on glass, so that none of the pieces pop up and break off. Like they already have when I got this from the company. They already have broken off. So that's basically what I'm showing you today, is what I do for photo etched. I'm going to start working on other pieces on the sub to get along a little farther on this. Things that won't interfere with me doing the inner hull and everything else like that. I like to do this stuff where I do different sections. It keeps me wanting to keep building. If I do a section here, a section there, because there's going to be a lot of sub-assemblies for this when I get done. Because when you go to paint, at least for me, I need it in sub-assemblies so that when I put it together at the end, I have minimal amount of touching up and a minimal amount of taping to do. I really hate taping stuff. I don't enjoy it at all. But it's part of doing modeling, so that's okay. But back to what I was saying. Now I'll probably, like with this, I'll probably use some of the photo etch stuff here to make the tower, because that'll be in pieces, and it has a bunch of photo etch on it. Not only that, but it also has, oh, let me see. It has the periscopes here in this bag. They'll go part of that. This little part here goes for the tower. So I'll do the tower a little bit. Then when I do the inner hull, that's going to be a lot of hand making parts and stuff like that. So I'll get back to that. I still got to work on this. I have to put the walls in underneath here, because that's going to allow me to adjust to cut the piece out that this sits on. That's more work. So you've got to design yourself around, all right, look, I got to do this to get to that. Then I can do this. But when I get to that, I'll do this. It's just like, bah! But it's no big deal. When you do photo etched, you've got to cut a lot of parts out, do a lot of extra work. But in the long run, it's worth it because you get that extra detail. So that's all I wanted to say for today. I'm working on cleaning up the photo etched. And I'm going to start working on another part of the U-boat till I get that book. And sorry for rambling on if I rambled on. Matter of fact, I need some coffee. Anybody want some coffee? Come over to my house and get some coffee. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll be back with my next video sometime soon.